Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere, and I am live and loving it tonight. It is Sunday, October 27th, 2019, and I want to welcome you to Sunday Night Live, where we work together to help each other learn how to thrive in change. Margaret, I'm glad you're here. Michael, hey, good to see you. And if Henry's there, hi Henry. Mwah. I love you. I love you. I love you. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. I'm really excited to have you on board. Looking forward to sharing with you some really cool thoughts about thinking small. And I know that feels counterintuitive sometimes, but it's not. So hang with me. You're going to find out something. You're going to learn something. Daniel, I'm glad you're here. Tyrese, I'm glad you're here. Mary, thank you for being here. Dawn, yay! Donnie, I haven't seen you in a while. Great. So good to see you. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Before we get started talking about thinking small, I want to alert you to a couple of things. First of all, if you haven't already done so, you can check out my YouTube channel. Search for Shannon LaBruyere. It'll pop up. If you follow it, you'll get notified. Well, you have to choose to be notified, but you'll get notified whenever I post a new video. And so that'll be something that might save you some time or some energy if you're not able to tune into Sunday Night Live. Another thing that we've got going on starting November 9th will be our mastermind group in the live stream leadership series, and it is called Developing Others. So if you've got a team that you wish you knew how to develop some of the people who have potential, this would be a great place for you to learn. So I'd love for you to take part in that. You can check out that on my Thrive and Change page under events. So that'd be awesome. I'd love to have you be a part of it. And make a note of this. One of our current mastermind group participants in the live stream leadership group has offered to give a scholarship to a person who may not have the cash to invest $25. That's the fee. To some of us, that might seem like not much. And to others of us, it might seem like it's all the gas that we need to get to work for 2 weeks, right? So if you're one of those people that doesn't feel like you have the $25 to invest in becoming a better leader, there's a scholarship available. So if that applies to you, if you would like to be put into a raffle, a random drawing, to have a name chosen to see who is going to get a scholarship to participate in developing others, just send me a Facebook message and let me know that you'd love to be put in. I want you to know this about that mastermind group. Hi, Ron, I'm glad you're here. Barbara, I'm glad you're here. This is what I want you to know about that mastermind group, that even if you get a scholarship and you don't have to pay the money to join for the month of November, it will still require an investment of your time and your energy. And that's the most important thing. So if you're ready to connect with other leaders, dig deep, stretch and grow, be accountable for taking some action, and you would like to be put in the drawing to receive a free scholarship for the November Mastermind Developing Others, send me a Facebook message. All right, with that, we are going to get started. First of all, welcome all of you high achievers. And I know I've got high achievers watching because you would not have tuned in to something like Sunday Night Live if you weren't a high achiever. You want something. You want something for yourself. You want something for your family. You want something for your company, your business. You want something. You are a person who has goals and you're committed to results. And again, how do I know this? I am not a mind reader. I just know that people who consistently tune in to something like Sunday Night Live, where we have to learn and grow and pay attention and focus and all of those good things, just the fact that you're here tells me you are tuned in and you have got goals. And you probably have big goals. Julie, I'm glad you're here. Ashley, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you on live before, so that's awesome. Michael Evans, glad to have you. We are talking about thinking small. So, this is what I know about all of you who are watching. You're high achievers, or you want to be a high achiever. You're committed to results, or you wouldn't have tuned into this broadcast, right? And you have goals. And some of you have huge goals, and that is amazing. Huge goals, amazing. Eric, I'm glad you're here. Huge goals is a wonderful thing. And so, as we talk about thinking small, I don't want you to abandon those big goals. This is the thing. Having big goals by themselves is dangerous. Julie says, I got big goals. Julie, that is great. Then this broadcast tonight is for you. All right? Dawn, I'm glad you're here. Yay, hi. And I love the thumbs up. All right, we are talking about big goals, but big goals by themselves are dangerous. I know somebody who was dear to me, and they had huge talent, really big talent, a lot of potential. I mean, so much potential, really smart, really on the ball, huge ideas and huge goals. This person had world-changing goals, not just little, I'm going to change my world-changing goals, but the enormity of his goals seemed to have the opposite effect on his motivation. Have you ever experienced that? You've got some goal that's so huge that every time you think about it, you think, oh, I can start that tomorrow. I can start that tomorrow. Yeah, I can start that tomorrow. That's what happened to him. His huge goals were so huge that he could never get any traction on them. He never was able to make meaningful progress toward his goals. And I am sad to report he never, ever achieved them. Why not? Why not? Somebody with big goals, right? I want to change the world. It's awesome. Not getting any traction. Maybe this is you. If this is you, I want you to listen carefully because I'm about to go all scientific on you. And you guys can mark it down. I don't go all scientific very often. So this is a first for me. Well, not a first, but it's a rare thing when I go with science. But this is what we're going to talk about. Darwin, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. All right, this is what science tells us. Goals that are too big paralyze us. I want you to think about that for a minute. Have you ever felt this happen in your own life? Goals that are too big, too huge, too massive paralyze us and we can't take any action. Science tells us that goals that are too big literally shut off our brains, or at least a part of it. You see the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that responds to fear, it responds to threats. That flight or fight part of our brain. Hi, Stacy, I'm glad you're here. Shelly, I'm glad you're here. We're getting all scientific about big goals right now. So you're tuning in just in time for the meaty stuff, the science. Science says that when our amygdala gets activated by these big goals, they terrify a part of our brain. That part of our brain, the amygdala, responds to the fear and the threat, the enormity of what's going on, and it actually hijacks the part of our brain that does the thinking, and that's the prefrontal cortex. Our amygdala, our lizard brain, fight or flight, off or on, sees a big goal, and it says, that is way too big. I can't do that. Ah! Click. And it shuts off our ability to think, to be creative. It actually steals, because it thinks there's an emergency. Ah! Scary goal. It's way too big. I'll never do it. What do I do? That energy, when the amygdala is activated, causes it to steal resources from the part of our brain that is creative. It steals resources from the part of our brain that actually thinks, the part that sees possibilities, that makes decisions. Can you see how difficult it is for us physically? This is physical stuff that happens in our brain. Can you see how difficult it would be to make traction on a goal that requires resourcefulness and creativity when that piece of our brain is shut off? It doesn't happen. So, that huge goal, when it activates our amygdala, takes away our ability to make progress on the goal. Scientists can actually see this process at work on a brain scan when they hook up the wires and do the EEG. Is it an EEG? I think it is. The more the amygdala lights up, that fight or flight, that the part that takes over in emergencies, when that's lighting up, the activity in the prefrontal cortex where decisions get made and creativity happens, that light starts to fade. Fear robs us of creativity, and it robs us of planning power. So, we'll just give it up then, right? I can see what you're thinking. You're saying, thank you, Shannon. That is very helpful. Now I know I should abandon all of my important goals, and I need to invest my effort in binge watching The Office or maybe game shows. Woohoo! Lots of time on our hands. Not so fast. Not so fast. You can keep those big goals. Don't get rid of those big goals. Our world needs people like you and me to have big goals. We want to have massive impact. That's what we want, and we can have it. It's just that we have to change our approach to getting those big goals accomplished. And here's the secret. Feel free to write it down. Are you ready? Add some small goals into the mix. Take that big goal, keep it out there, dream big, yes! But take that big goal and break it into smaller pieces, smaller goals. When you add those small goals to the mix, this is what happens. You prevent the fear part of your brain from hijacking your thinking cap, and then you get victories. Small goals equal small victories. And getting small victories, hi John Buck, getting small victories and reaching small goals accumulate until we actually accomplish that big dream that we have. Don't abandon it, but change your approach. I'm going to take a small detour here just to identify something that I see in my clients, and I also often see it in myself. And it is this. When we've got a big goal, it feels like it's awesome. It's altruistic, right? We've got this halo hanging over our head. I've got such big goals. I want to change the world. It's awesome. Ah! And the angels sing, right? We have that, and we use it as an excuse for not taking action on the small steps. And in that case, we're not talking about having a big goal. We're talking about having a big excuse. It's a place to hide. Have you ever done that? It's so big that if I never attempt it, it doesn't really matter. Oh, let's see what Ron has to say. Inch by inch is a cinch, and yard by yard is hard. Amen to that, Ron. Yes, inch by inch is a cinch. Yes, one row at a time, one row at a time. When my sister and her friends were younger, they used to work at a farmer's field in the summer to make extra money, and they would pick corn. And she said that it was hour after hour after hour of picking corn, and she said they learned not to look at the whole field, right? Inch by inch is a cinch. Yard by yard is hard. They looked at that row. I need to make it to the end of this row. It is a small victory. Small victories are the key to accomplishing those big goals. Carol, I am glad you're here. Welcome. So glad to have you on live tonight. All right. We overlook the value of our small successes sometimes because we don't think they really matter compared to the big goal that we have, right? Terry, glad you're here. We poo-poo those small victories, those little steps that we're making on our journey because they seem so puny in comparison to what we actually want to achieve. It's just a drop in the bucket, right? Just a drop in the bucket. It's no big deal. It's embarrassing to make a big deal about it when we've got such a long way to go. And for those of us who want to make a huge impact on the world, we can fall into that trap of not celebrating the small success. Not only do you have to plan small steps, small goals that lead you to your big goal, being in alignment, right? We talked a lot about aligning our activities with our purpose, with what we want to accomplish. And when we align that, everything we do gets us closer and closer to our goals. Well, when we're aligned and we're heading for that finish line that's 24 miles away, we need to start putting markers every mile along the way. We need to start celebrating every step we take that gets us toward that big goal. That's on us to do it. Now, imagine if our favorite sports team thought like this. It's just one game. It doesn't really matter. Every team, when they start out, they look at their goal and it is the championship, right? I don't care if it is a Y10 soccer team or if it is a professional football team. Every team is looking to win the championship, right? Everyone wants to win it all. And each step along the way to that goal, every time another notch is added in the win column, the team, the fans, the mascots, the communities celebrate, right? Every time they win. Now, are we popping champagne after the first game of the season? Maybe not. But we acknowledge the win, right? We enjoy the feeling of accomplishment, right? We recognize that it's important. We recognize that it's necessary. We share with people, right? Carol is loving that, and I am so glad. Karen, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for popping on. So, think like a football team. Think like a baseball team. We're in the middle of the World Series now, right? They started the season with high hopes, and now here they are. Each win leading up to this was a celebration, and then the next day they started with a new goal. Get another win, get another win, get another win. And as we in our lives set those small goals and start achieving them, we actually make it possible for us to get the big win that we're looking for, to experience the big goal. We have to have small wins that lead up to the big win, or we're never going to get it. So if you wake up in the morning and think, for example, if it's me, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I want people to learn to lead themselves and others with confidence, with passion, with principles. If I wake up in the morning and say, I want to be on a national stage and I am not going to celebrate at all until I get on a national stage to share with people my passion for how to thrive and change, how likely is it that I'm going to enjoy my journey? How likely is it that I'll ever make it onto a national stage? I can tell you this as a speaker, I will not make it on a national stage until I have done quite a bit of speaking on small stages and local stages and in front of local groups and people who are in my community. And those small victories for me, every time I give a talk, I talk to the National Association of Career Women, woohoo! I talk to the girl bosses, woohoo! I love it. Every time I talk to a different group, it's a win and I celebrate. It's another win, not just for me, but it's a win for them because I am putting information in their hands that can change their life. That is a victory, my friends. What victory are you not celebrating that's actually life-changing and mind-boggling? And you're poo-pooing it because you think that doesn't matter. I'm going for my master's degree and I just got my associate's. That's nothing to celebrate. Yes, it is. Yes, it is something to celebrate. Are you going to celebrate it for 5 years and then pick up the ball and start going to school again? I hope not. Celebrate it though. Acknowledge that it's important. Acknowledge that it matters. Us taking those small goals and celebrating them, the small victories that might look small when we compare them to our big goal, but they are absolutely critical for us to get where we want to be. Celebrating those things may seem silly, but it's not silly. It's scientific. Setting small goals that lead us to larger goals and celebrating those victories along the way allow us to stay in our creative self, stay in our decision-making brain, stay in the part of our brain that needs to be able to plan and focus and take action. Work with your brain, people. Don't activate it to freeze. Work with your brain. Celebrate those small wins and keep yourself eye on the prize, but keep yourself moving every day, every day. Something to celebrate. I've done something good. I added value to somebody. I did something that made a difference. I've got another notch on my win sheet. Sometimes we don't celebrate. I only lost a half a pound and I've got 100 pounds to go. Celebrate that half pound. It's a half pound that has to be behind you before you'll get to your goal, right? Oh, I only have 2 clients. Yeah, well, you have to have 2 before you have 200. It's a necessary part. And I love this idea that by allowing us to celebrate, we're actually doing something good for our brain that gives us more likelihood of reaching that big goal. So let's see what you guys have to say. Hold on here. All right, so Julie says this: I'm on my way to becoming a travel agent, to becoming a speaker, to getting into the John Maxwell Leadership Program. I love it. Step by step by step, Julie. That's awesome. And how are you going to celebrate? What's the next step you need to take on your road to being a travel agent? When you take it, celebrate it. Give yourself a pat on the back. I did it. I'm working toward my goal. You owe that to yourself. And also, you owe it to the people that you want to serve ultimately, step by step by step. It's a beautiful thing. Good job, Julie. I'm so glad for you. All right, let's see. Carol says, you are causing us to believe we will reach our goals. I am honored that you say that, Carol. I am so honored. That is only partially true, but I will say this. I am happy to activate your faith in yourselves. I am honored to activate your faith in yourselves. None of us can do what we want to do alone. It is too big. If you want to be a person who impacts your world, lives in your purpose, changes the people and the atmosphere around you to actually add value to people, if that is who you are, then you absolutely have to start understanding and acknowledging every time you do something good that gets you on the way to your goals. Cynthia Lee, I'm glad you're here. And Anne, I love those hearts. I always love them. It's like fireworks going off. Thank you so much. So I want you to also embrace this as we start wrapping up about this idea of thinking small. Don't apologize for your wins. Don't apologize, and don't let anybody rob you of them. If somebody is ahead of you on their journey, maybe they have more of what you have. Excuse me, let me grab a drink here. Maybe there's somebody at your work who's doing better than you are. Better. They're further ahead on their career path. They're going places that you would love to go. If that person isn't willing to help you along, if that person minimizes your accomplishments, if that person isn't willing to pat you on the back and say, well done, I want you to find somebody else to follow, okay? You don't have to follow somebody like that. There are so many people that are happy to celebrate with us when we get closer to the goal. You can find those people and you deserve it. It is worth the effort. It is worth the effort to find them. They are out there. And I will tell you this, if you share with me, and this is a promise, if you share with me the step you've just taken that gets you a little bit closer to your goal, I will rejoice with you because I am honored to believe in you and what you know you want to accomplish. Bobby, I'm so glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. So folks, that's what we're talking about today, celebrating the small victories. Don't think that you're not allowed to celebrate until you've achieved that big, huge goal, because that is a lie. It's a lie we tell ourselves so that we don't have to be accountable for acting toward that big goal. And it's a lie that society tells us sometimes, that we're not worth anything until we've achieved X, Y, Z. But I want you to take a page out of your favorite winning football team. For you Lions fans, take a page out of your favorite winning basketball team, baseball, whatever it is. They celebrate each win, and then the next day they get up and they do it again, and bit by bit, win by win by win, they make it to the playoffs, they make it to the championship, they get that big goal. We need to do that too. They put a lot of study and money into motivating people on sports teams. I don't know if you understand the depth of the thought work that athletes do, the higher level that they get to, and they understand the power of celebrating the small victories. Mary Bell Edwards says this. Let's see. She says, thank you, Carol, for introducing me to Shannon. So encouraging to me. Love you. Mary, that's awesome. I'm so pleased to have met you. And it is fun how we can meet each other on Facebook, isn't it? Jerry Holland, I'm glad you're here. And Carol says good things too. Della, thank you for tuning in. I am just wrapping up. We talked about celebrating small victories. Having that big goal is awesome. But if that's the only thing we've got, we're never going to change the world. We have to celebrate each step along the way. And the more we celebrate those small victories, the more likely it is we actually get that big goal that we're shooting for. All right, thank you so much. One last thing, I want to remind you that our new mastermind group for November, it starts November 9th, is called Developing Others, and it is going to help us think like leaders who want to develop the people that we're trying to influence and also take action to help them. So it's going to be practical and it's going to be theoretical. So you're going to love those aspects of it. And if you cannot afford the $25 fee to take those 3 mastermind classes with us in November, there is somebody who has generously offered to give a scholarship. And all you have to do is send me your name in Facebook Messenger, and we'll keep it private. Send me your name, and we're going to put all of those names into a drawing, and we're going to draw a winner. If you are a person who truly can't afford the $25, and I know that that is a big deal for some people, absolutely. If you cannot, but you are willing to invest your time and your attention, and you're willing to be vulnerable and add value, bring your expertise to that mastermind group, send me your name. Let me know that you'd love to be in that drawing. And the week before the mastermind starts, I'll be announcing the winner. We'll do a random drawing. I'll use one of these computer things. It'll be awesome. But thank you so much for being here. Charles, I am so glad you jumped on. And I hope you jump on next Sunday at 7 because that's when this starts. I am just wrapping up. If you want to watch this, you can absolutely go back on Facebook and hit the replay. It'll be there for you. Or you can go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll be posted there in a day or two, and you can see the whole Sunday Night Live archives. Charles, I hope you're doing well. Thank you all for being here. God bless.